Hello everyone, my name is Cynthia Henry and I am the librarian for the College of Human Sciences. Today we're going to learn how to use the library website and we're going to be using this worksheet. Dr. Blum should have sent that out to you. We're going to first start with our topic formulation. So we're going to select a topic that we're interested in RHIM, and then we're going to build some keywords from that topic. So let's do something pretty simple, and then y'all can do your own exploration. If you have a paper or a project that's coming up and you want to do that research for this worksheet, that'll be fine as well. So let's take like retail or retailing and customer service. If we have those words as our topic, what additional keywords do you think we could come up with? I think some additional things that we could come up with would be retail, retailing, customer service, customer behavior, customer satisfaction, shopping analytics. All of that would have been really useful for keywords on the topic that we were discussing. So now we're going to use the everything search. It's now labeled OneSearch on the library.ttu.edu page. And if you type in library.ttu.edu, it will bring you to this page. I know that's not the same URL here, but you'll land in the same spot, and that's really easy to remember. So here we are on the main page. We're going to use the OneSearch everything search here. OneSearch and everything is the same thing, so I'm going to just put in retailing here. I'm going to hit enter, and then we're going to look at what our results are. So here, this first one has several copies. So if you wanted to see all the versions, so that's probably different editions of the same book, not one edition of the same book 4 times. So it probably is like, you know, a 2008, a 2012, maybe a 2018 version. So you can see all those. Here is another book. You know it's a book because it tells you it's a book right here. Here's the title and the author and the date. So that is most of the information that we need to for our worksheet, This is our reference entry, and then this is what an article looks like. You can see this reference entry and the article. You can just click and read full text right here from the screen. Let's go ahead and look in this retailing just for a second. Now I'm clicking into the record of this book by clicking on the title, and then I can see a lot more information here. So of course I have the title at the top. The author is Dale Lewison. It's from 1997. It tells you that it's available on the shelf. It tells you which library it's available from. That's the University Library on campus. That's the big library, the main library. But we also have a few others. We have an architectural library in the architectural building, Southwest Collections, which is our archive on campus. We also have law, and then of course across the street at health science there's a health science library. So it tells you which library it's in, where it is in that library. It's in the stacks, and that means it's on the west side of this library. You would have to go up on the west side elevators, which is painted like bluey purple on the outside. It's not as you came in from the side with the student union building right across the street. That's the east side. So go ahead and walk around to the other side of the elevators and go up. You can see the call number here. It is HF5429.L487-1997. You need to have that whole call number, because if you don't have that whole call number, then you may not be able to find the book. You can't just take HF upstairs and think that you're going to be in the right spot. You need the rest of that information. If you have a hard time finding the book, feel free to get a student to help you at the desk, or if you need to, a librarian would be happy to help you as well, and we're located on the mezzanine level. So let's go ahead and check out our worksheet and see what all we need to know there. We need to know the title, the author, the year of publication, the location, which library, and where it is in the building, the stacks, and then the call number. So that's what you need for this information here on the searching for everything, or OneSearch. Then we're going to scoot down just a bit, and we're going to look at a few library databases next. because we need to find 2 articles on our topic, and let's go ahead and start to look at that. So I'm going to close this record, and then I'm going to click on this double T, and that will get us back to our main page. And anywhere on the library website, if you click on a double T, it'll get you back to this screen. So while we're here, let's look at a few other things that are useful before we move into our databases. So we have our hours over here. We have our computer information here. So if you walk in the building and you need help finding resources, a computer, then you can see what is open and what is in use. You may find some useful information here, how to connect to Google Scholar, EndNote. I'm happy to address either of those with y'all if you need help with them, and I'll show you how to contact me in just a second. Let's go ahead and talk about document delivery, because if you don't learn anything else from me today, I hope you learn document delivery. It is a tool that will save you time and energy. So that's something I always want to do. I'm going to click on document delivery. This is going to get you into our document delivery interlibrary loan. And what we use this service for is if there's an item that you need and we don't have, or it's not on the shelf, then you can ask and request it through this system, and we will borrow it from another library for you. So you're going to click on here, and I'm going to sign into my e-reader. Whoop, I'm already signed in, so we won't see that screen. Sorry about that. But you know that screen. You can just sign in with your e-reader and password. And then here's everything that you can request. If this is your first time signing in and you've never used this system before, the first screen you'll see is an account form for you to create your account. And you just go ahead and make sure you fill in all of those forms, blanks, and then hit submit at the bottom, and then you'll land on this screen. And so most of the time you probably will be requesting journal articles or books. If you request a book, it takes about 7 days because we have to get it from the other library. They have to mail it to us, and then we have to get it to you. And then you will come in and you'll be able to see anything checked out or renewed here. But I don't have anything checked out at the moment, so I'm not even going to click on that button. And they get to, the other library that we borrow it from gets to decide how long you get to keep it. So sometimes you can have it for 3 weeks. Sometimes they let you have it for a month. Sometimes they let you have it for 10 days. Sometimes they allow you to renew items, but it's all up to that main library. But the best thing to do is just turn that book in and request it again, and we may get that same book back, or we may get another copy from another library. But it's easy to do, so just go ahead and do it. Journal articles come much faster. So they come in about 48 hours during the business week. So if we put in a whole bunch on Monday morning, we should be able to be reading those by Wednesday afternoon. But if we don't put those in until Friday afternoon, we won't probably get to read those until at least Monday afternoon or Tuesday morning. So think about that as you're doing your research. Remember to always do your research before your project is due. Don't wait until it's due on Monday and start writing your paper Thursday night or Friday. You know, that's not useful. It's not fun weekend, and so just make sure you give yourself some time to use these resources. So once you set up your account, you'll be using your TTU email, because that's how you'll be notified that either item is ready. If you're requesting a journal article, they'll tell you to come in and get in this electronically received area, and you just click on there. Then you can see all the journals that I've requested, and I'll just open one for you real quick. Let's just grab this one. So here is the whole PDF, and I can just scroll down and read the whole thing. If I wanted to print or save this, I would want to use these icons. In databases, sometimes you have another option off to the left side, and I'll try to point that out. And sometimes you just get the framework, not the real article. So make sure you're always using this black bar with the download or the print. Okay, I'm going to just click back, and I'm going to click back one more time. So here we are. And then actually I'm going to get us on the main page one more time, because I'm going to leave that window open. And then I'm going to click on the blue Personal Librarians Find Research Assistants. So let's click there, and then we're going to scroll down till we get to Human Sciences. And then we're going to get to Hospitality, Retail, and Management. And then we're going to use this as our tool to find our best databases for our area. Since we have to find 2 articles, you can get 2 articles from the same database, or you can look through a few of these databases. Hospitality and Tourism Complete and Business Source Complete are really good for this area. I'll show you later how to use Business Source Complete searching interface. This gives you some different information than this one does. And then we'll look at Merchant Online and Hoover's. So let's go ahead and get into Hospitality and Tourism Complete. And here is the main page of this database. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Advanced Search. I just like to use this page because it gives me a few more options. Also, I like to take a minute and talk about this vendor. So this is an EBSCO database, but the name of this database is Hospitality and Tourism Complete. And I think that it's important for you to know the difference, because a lot of times I'll have a student come in my office and say, hey, I thought I emailed the best article for my research to me, but the email never came through. Can you help me find that article again? And if you can tell me that you were in Hospitality and Tourism Complete, I guarantee between the 2 of us that we can find that article. But if you can only tell me you were in this big vendor EBSCO, we have like 300 databases from that vendor. That's a lot of hunting and pecking and digging to find. So I'm going to... let's do some research now. Let's go ahead and put in retail. I'm going to put in retail, and then I'm going to go ahead and also put in customer service. Okay, here we are. So we have about 273. That's a little bit large for a good set. Let's try and narrow that down. Let's look at our date range. I'm going to go ahead and put in 2008. That will get us the last 10 years, but you can make that smaller if you need to. Now we're down to 157. That's not a bad set. I try not to be less than 20, because if I'm less than 20, maybe I needed to just tweak my keywords a bit more, and then I would be having a better set. And if I'm over 200, like you saw, I try to get it a little bit more narrowed down, because the closer you can get to what you're really looking for is best, because then it'll only bring back articles that you're interested in reading. You won't have to dig through a whole bunch. Nice thing about this box is it tells you exactly what you're searching with your limiters. So we're peer reviewed, and our date is sitting there as well. So let's just grab this first one. So the effects of post-adoption beliefs on the expectation confirmation model in a electronics retail setting. That's the title of this article. Here's the author of this article, and here's the source or the title of the journal. So sometimes people get confused, the title of the article and the title of the journal. Both, you need both. And this is from July, August, right now in 2018. Volume 29, Issue 7, page 866 to 880, and that's 15 pages. That's how you read that article. And one thing I like to point out is this little site right here. So if you click on that, it will put together the citation for you. And so here is APA, if you're using that. Then you can just copy and paste this into an email or into a Word document. But make sure you remember to include the hanging indentation, because when it copies, it lines it up even again. So just make sure that you add that back in. I'm just going to close that. And then let's talk about these words here. So author-supplied keywords are useful. An author knows what he or she has been writing about, but they're not as useful as these subject terms. These subject terms allow you to see how this article was indexed into this database. So you can see if we were really interested in this article, we might really want to look back to customer satisfaction, which was one of our other keywords that we didn't use yet. So you could see that we could add that into the boxes up here at the top. Nice thing about EBSCO too, that big vendor, is that it highlights all of its keywords in bold, so you can quickly read this abstract, which is the paragraph summary of the article. You can see here that there's been about 300 questionnaires collected for this, survey. So that might be some really good data if you're interested in this. So now that we've looked at all the pieces here, how are we going to read this article? So when we come over here and use this Find It button, if there was a PDF icon here, we could click that and read the PDF straight away. But since there's not, we're going to click the Find It. And that's our links resolver, which means it is trying to find this article and all the other collections that we have here at the library. So let's see what it tells us. Oh, it doesn't tell us anything great. So what happens is there's no full text available for this one. So that means that we would have to definitely request this through our document delivery. But we already have that set up, so we're just going to hit this, and it will pull up your document delivery account, and it will put in all of the information for you. So you see I don't have to type anything here, and all I have to do is hit submit request, and then in 24 to 48 hours it would be back to me and I would be able to read it. So that is a nice feature. I don't really need this article, so I'm just going to go ahead and click close this window. And we're back on our links resolver screen, so I'm going to close this. And now here we are in our database. And so let's go ahead and look at a few others here in our results list. So I'm going to use this, our results list. And let's see what we have here. Oh, let's look at number 3. So again, we're in the record. Oh, and we have the PDF right here. So I'm going to click on that and it'll load up. And here is the article. So I can read that, I can download it or print it. And here is what I was talking about before, the print or email. If you print or email, most of the time what you will get is this frame and the information about the article, not the article itself, just the record information. So be aware of that and make sure you always use this download or print if you needed to store this, however you're going to store your research. Okay, I'm going to click back. No, I'm actually going to use this results list in the blue bar. And let's see if we can look at one more here. So you can see on number 1, here's the Find It button. And then on number 3 is what we looked at next, and here's the full text. So you don't always have to get into the record. I just think looking in the record helps me identify if that article is useful for my research or not. So you do however you feel like is quickest for you. And then let's use number 4. So we're going to look at this, Find It. So it's going to land us into the full text of an article if we only have it in one location. It's going to land us into a screen that looks like this if we have it in multiple locations. So I can use any one of these. So I'm just going to pick on Emerald. But before I do that, I'm just going to remind myself what we're looking for. Then enhancing customer relationships with retail service brands from this Journal of Service Management, 2016, volume 27 to page 170. So let's get into Emerald real quick. Okay, so we actually landed on the table of contents for the right volume and issue. If not, I would have to look around to see where I needed to go next volume or back to the main listing to find the right year if need be. But now we just need page 170. So I'm just going to quickly look for the page that will be correct. Oh, here we are. And that's the right title. So then I can click PDF here and it will load it up. Okay. Yay. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. And I'm going to go ahead and close this one. And I'm going to close our links resolver. Before we do that, let's review. So the links resolver will let you find it in full text and they will drop you straight into the article. Or it'll let you find it in multiple locations like this page did. Or it will let you request it when you find no full text like the first time. And so we would have to use the request button. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. And then here we are back on the database screen. So let's cover our workshop our worksheet information. So we know which database we were using. We know the title. We know the title of the articles that we looked at. We know how to find the author, where it's located in the record. We know how to find the source, the journal title. And then let's talk about this full text. So the first one we looked at, it did not have full text, so we said no, and then we can say here, requested through document delivery. The second one, it did have full text, so we still don't have the need to have the location and the call number because we're never going upstairs to the stacks to pull it. We can just say it was full text online, and then you'll be done with both of those. Okay, so let's look at the bottom of our worksheet and see what else we need to cover. A simple company and industry research. We're going to look at Hoover's or Merchant and locate a business. So we're going to put in the company name, and then we're going to look for the sales and revenue. So let's just get back to our website with my picture on it. I encourage you to bookmark this because you can do a lot of researching here for RHIM. So here is my contact information. You can see my email, you can see my phone number, you can Skype with me. Anytime you see that I'm green on Skype, feel free to IM. I'm happy to talk with you. Okay, so we were looking at Merchant and Hoover's company. So let's go ahead and get into Merchant. I like it so much better than Hoover's, but I know a lot of professors really like Hoover's as well. So we'll look at both. And we'll take the same company in both so you can see the difference. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to use Nike. I know that's footwear, but you find your restaurant or hotel chain and look that company up. And so I'm going to click Nike. And then it gives me lots of information right here from the start. Here's our key financials. But you can look in here and see all of these little gray words are different tabs that you can click on. Then you can also click on these other bigger tabs. So if you really wanted to delve into this company's financials, you could do this. This is kind of like a snapshot. And then also the competitors, which I like in both Hoover's or here in Merchant. Both of them are really nicely set up. So they'll tell you who is the competitors here. And then let's just quickly look at the company financials. And you can see all of that information. That's what we need to record right now anyway. And then company details is the screen that we were on in the beginning. And then let me go ahead and close this one and get out Hoover's real quick. I'm going to do Nike again. Now, one thing while we're looking at Nike again, remember, if it's public, then the company information will be in the databases. But if it's a private company, they do not have to share that information with the public, so it will not be in the databases. So as you're looking for your company, make sure that you find a public company. So here's Nike here at the top. I'm just going to click it. And here's all the documents right here. It's like a PDF that they loaded in a viewable window. So you can just scroll down here. Here's the table of contents. If we wanted to look at the key financials, we could click here and it will take us down to here. The other thing about Hoover's is I do like their competitor section just a bit more than than Merchant. So it's right here at the bottom usually. It looks like that is comparing that to people, so it's competitive landscape. But then there it is. It's just a list of the competitors overall. So feel free to look that information up. You can use both of them, and a lot of times you can find information in one that you want to find in the other. So feel free to dig around and see what you think is best. I'm going to close this window, and we're back on my screen one more time. Let's look at our worksheet. So we just did this area. Then using the Visit Source Complete searching interface on my page that we talked about earlier, we're going to look up a market research report pertaining to the hospitality and food and drink industry. So let's do that next. And then I'm going to specifically look for market research reports. And then I'm going to actually do by subject. So let's look at food. So we have food industry, food service industry. I think I'm going to click on this one and see what we have going on here. Okay, let's get into this top one. And then you can see all the years that it's listed out. So it takes a long time to get this data together. And you can see over here on the left that we're only through 2014 is the last year that we have full text. So let's go ahead and look at 2014. A lot of times that's 2014 and 2015. Yep, see? So this one would be 16, 17, and this one would be 18, 19 most likely. So this one is still in the middle of being put together. And this one is probably going to be published in the next couple of months. So let me go ahead and click on this one. And then you can see the market summary and then all the pieces of this report. And so you can look at culinary trends or food and dining trends, dining out. Let's look at some of the state-by-state analysis just by clicking on this PDF. So it looks like here that the National Restaurant Association projects restaurant sales in 2014 for these values, and then it'll show you the in parentheses the change from 2013. So let's look down at Texas. And so we look like we're going to have an increase of 4.7. And let's see what the next data tells you. Oh, and this tells you number of restaurants by state. So let's see how many Texas has again. 40,000, over 40,000. So that's the kind of information you'll be finding in these reports. So feel free to dig around should you need that. I'm going to go ahead and close this. Okay, so now we're back on my main page again. And then let's just look at the worksheet. We've completed everything on the worksheet. I think that's the end of our session. Again, if you need to reach out to me, feel free to contact me any way you would like to. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you.